Howdy y'all, it's Seth and I'm here camping at the Dennis Cove Campground in Hampton, Tennessee. It's a family campground, so there may be some background noise. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago I picked up the hammock from ALDI, and we're gonna test it out here in real world scenarios. I've got what looks like a couple of good trees to hook this to, and we're gonna give it a go. I'm going to basically film this in real time, and then if it takes forever, I'll speed it up a little bit just not to bore you. And then you'll see me get in it and the whole thing will go, and then the trees will, and I'll feel really good about myself. But until we meet that point of the video, let's have some fun and get our sweat on. Now, this is a lot tighter than a lot of people put their hammocks, but it's going to sink when I get into it. So I gotta start it tight, and we'll see where I end up in there for now. I'm hoping this doesn't completely, utterly destroy my self-esteem, but I guess we'll find out, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna hop in there, and if it works just fine and I don't need to make any adjustments, I'm gonna just do that, and then I'm gonna tarp it so I have a little bit of shade, a nice little shelter. I'm hoping we're not picking up the motorcycles rolling through here, but it's an active campground. There's only 15 sites. It's a beautiful campground. If you want to see the whole thing, I'm going to do a campground review on my other channel, Shine and Mallow's Vlog, which is where I do more vloggy stuff instead of product reviews and items. So I'll link to that somewhere up here or over there or wherever it goes. And you can definitely check that out. And I'm gonna get in this, see how that works. And then if it holds up just fine, we're gonna cover it and I'll show you that setup too. Really good for the self-confidence. As you can see, I pretty much slid halfway down the tree. That I'm actually gonna blame on the hammock straps and not myself. This was $15 in the Here Today, Gone Tomorrow aisle at Aldi. And the hammock itself is not bad. It is a little narrow for a guy my size, but I would definitely invest in some better hammock straps. You can find them online. I've got some from Wise Owl that I bought a few years ago. I don't know if they're still making them, but I like them, so they come highly recommended. But I'm gonna rock out there with this tonight if I can stay off the ground. I'm gonna go raise that just a little bit. What's good, the first time you get in it, you're gonna stretch it, and now I'll actually be able to adjust the straps again to a more reasonable level so I'm not laying on the ground tonight. I'm gonna put a tarp over it, just basic protection, and I'll keep filming so you can see how to just do a tarp over a hammock. All right, to properly tarp your hammock, you'll need a tarp and some tent stakes. Subjective on both of these, but you'll see why. I've used this tarp before. It's a Gorich. I think I just got it from Amazon like a year or two ago. It's lightweight, it's thin, it's black, and I forgot that I actually have stakes in there, so I don't need the ones I just shoved in my pocket. So I got that going for me. Let's hook that up. All right, now that we got the hammock up, you're gonna take some of your favorite rope. I like getting rope with guy lines, pre-installed guy lines. You can also buy separate guy lines. This will actually just help hold it without actually having the tiny knots, and I'm lazy enough and not a good enough Boy Scout to be knot tying out here. It's also still rather warm today. We are in a heat wave, and I just really don't feel like adding work. So buy a few of these. They're just like aluminum guy lines. Anything you see, if it's still available, like on Amazon or other websites, I'll link down there if you want to check it out for yourself. But these things are fantastic, and I'll set this up and then I'll bring you with me and show you how it works. As you can see right now, we've got a little bit of tarp that doesn't cover the hammock. So what's nice with the guy lines is we can just slide it down. Something else I could have done if I wanted to is just do one piece of rope instead of two, run it tree to tree. Then I would have to just pinch off where that connects to prevent it from sliding in the night. So I like this because I can keep it tighter. But I'm gonna go put that where it belongs, stake down the corners, and then I'll give you a walk around and we'll call this a day. All right, there she is. She's not beautiful. Leveled out the crease a little bit, but I've got rock right down there. So I can't make it perfect because that stake does not want to go in. And I don't feel like mining for the next half hour just to get it down. It'll do what it's supposed to do. Let me do a walk around. I'll show you the guy lines. I'll show you what this looks like on the inside. And then I'll see you in the morning. So this was the online tarp I bought. I'm dumb. I went with black and black rope here, so I will trip over that. Maybe someday I'll show you a video about how I make sure I can see those in the middle of the night. But as far as what we actually have going on here, right now, this is it. There's hammock, which is sufficient for everything it needs to be sufficient for. As you already know, that will drop like way too much when I get in it. Tightened it up a bit, we'll see. But that's it. Keep a little air between me and the ground. That way I have some airflow coming in here. I don't sweat it out tonight. Let's do a walk around. So we're kind of over the ground there a little bit. Always make sure you know what's below you when you put a hammock up. You don't want any pointy rocks, pointy sticks, or rattlesnakes. So there's that. There's where I'll be sleeping tonight if this doesn't work. Just kidding. I'll end up on the ground and I'm okay with that. We talked about the guy lines. There's a few different types. Why is there a tomato on it? Let me flip this around. Nothing says I'm not gonna get eaten by a bear like having a tomato in my campsite. And look at this right at the base of the tree I'm hooked on. Yikes. Not only is that a nice lightning rod if we get a storm, but I'm gonna double check under my hammock, make sure there's nothing else like that. I'm 6 feet away from that. My head will be here, my feet there. So I'm okay. We'll just see how it ends up working out. As for those guy lines, let me show you without getting tomato all over my foot. There's two of them right here, two different types. One just has 2 holes in it. That's that right there. And that you just use to put tension on this. The other, I'll try to show you, has 1 hole and 2 notches. And you run your line through the hole, tighten it around the notch. You can double tighten here if you're looping this around the tree. I've actually hooked this to my loop. So it's hooked to itself. That creates the tension that holds that in place, so that won't slide or move. It's basic physics, but it's such a nice, easy way to do things. And that's home for tonight, so wish me luck. Good morning from a slightly swinging ALDI Hammock. $15 hammock. Not a bad night of sleep, I gotta be honest with you. I'm still in the trees and not on the ground, and that's a really, really good sign. It's about 6 in the morning. The birds started going, so I am up. Normally, when I hammock camp, I would have a blanket or something under me to keep me a little bit warmer at night, because you want a little insulation, something. But we're in the middle of a heat wave here in Tennessee, and even last night I don't think it dipped below 70, so I really didn't want extra layers. I had this right here. That's my rumple quilt. It's very, very lightweight. I'm not going to turn this into a rumple ad or anything, but absolutely awesome, especially for hammocks. I've used it tenting a few times, and it, unless you like clip it to your sleep system, it just kind of ends up, you know how sleeping bags can get and quilts. So, but for hammock camping, it's perfect because it can't go anywhere, because neither can I. So, awesome. Decent night of sleep. My back doesn't hurt, which is a good thing for a man in his 40s who has back problems. If you're a man in your 40s, you probably have back problems too. So, the one thing I do love about hammock camping is that it kind of keeps you're not laying flat in most hammocks. You're laying kind of a mild crescent shape, or croissant, which I would love to have for breakfast. Wonder what time Dunkin' Donuts opens. Oh, I'm doing it. Anyway. So that kind of curved shape is actually really good for folks with back problems. Of course, getting in and out of a hammock, probably not so much. There is a trick to getting out of these, and that's just throw a leg over each side and then just kind of sit up straight. You can even use the edge of the hammock to pull yourself up if you have to, and then by that point you should have a left leg on the ground, the right leg on the ground, and a hammock up your crotch, and you can just stand up. So we're going to do that in a bit. I don't know if I'll film it. I don't even know if I can. Maybe if I can get a tripod in here. But you can see the ground. It rained all night. We had thunder and lightning for quite a bit of the night. Still a good night of sleep, though, if you've never slept in that while camping and grossly exposed to the elements. Not bad. I'm happy I did not cowboy camp it, and I did throw up the tarp to keep me dry. Not a drop of water in here, which is a good thing. It means I had the tarp lined up decent enough, because if I didn't, this thing would fill up with water like a bathtub. So that's good. I'm going to throw on some breakfast, and I'm going to pack up camp and get out of here. But as far as an ALDI hammock, a $15 grocery store hammock goes for camping, it's a keeper. It's totally a keeper. And I'm a big boy, and it held me, and I'm off the ground, and I am dry, and little condensation whatsoever. Really none. It's got a slightly damp feel to it because of the wet air, but there's no water on it. But other than that, yeah, total keeper. Total keeper. This thing rivals my more expensive hammock. Thank you so much for coming camping with me, checking me out in my ALDI setup. I will have a lot more gear reviews and camping videos and all the fun stuff coming up. If there's anything you'd like to see, any products you want to see in action, go ahead and tell me in the comments, and I'll look into it and see if I can get my hands on one. But yeah, if you want to see something, if there's an item you've been dying to see in action, let me know. I'll check it out. And until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching, and happy trails. I gotta go find a hat.